Good morning, everybody. This is Chaz here to bring you another awesome Pokemon battle. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name, but this here was a battle I had him a few days ago. We actually had 3 battles. The other 2, he completely destroyed me. His Ninjask is nothing to mess around with. Anyway, I lead with Haku, my Articuno. He leaves with Ninjask. He goes for a substitute. I probably should have went for a Ice Shard right off the bat, but I wasn't sure if he was going to go into a Protect or not, so I didn't want to give away my opening move like that. So I try Ice Shard again, he protects. And on my next turn I go for another Ice Shard, and I was actually hoping it took it out, and it didn't. So I probably should have went for the Ice Shard on the first turn because I could have taken it out. He baton passes into his Vaporeon. I'm not really sure what to expect from it because I haven't seen all of his other moves in the last 2 battles. So I go for a U-turn here just to try and get some quick damage. But he sets up an Acid Armor. I was trying to figure out why it was faster, but I forgot about all of Ninjask's speed boost. So I baton pass out here, and I believe I go into, I go into Crystal my Latias. I didn't want to go for a Thunder Wave because I knew the substitute was coming, so I just try and get a Calm Mind up. And I knew he was going to baton pass into something, so I just go ahead and do another Calm Mind. Now I did not expect him to baton pass into Smirgle. So that was actually kind of a misplay. I should have just went for the Dragon Pulse to try and break this up. He goes for Mean Look. So now I can't run, but I'm not really going to be doing any switching anyway. So I go for a Dragon Pulse and I break this up. Right here, Smirgle goes for Spore. I kind of expected that. I was kind of hoping it happened sooner. And Smirgle baton passes. And he baton passes into Vaporeon. Alright, so I get my Thunder Wave off on Vaporeon, which is good, because its speed boosts are invalid now, and I go for a Dragon Pulse. I actually get a crit on this hit, and it barely survives. So that was kind of disappointing, because I could have taken that Vaporeon down and make all the baton passes for nothing for the most part. So his Smirgle goes for another Spore. At this point, I was like, this is pretty much it for Crystal. I don't normally call back sleep Pokemon because as the battle progresses, it's just still sleep. And then when I do need to come out, it's still sleep and just dies. So I just kind of let sleep take its course. So Tyranitar comes out, and I'm really not expecting what to do with this thing because it has like 2 or 3 speed boosts, an acid armor, and here it actually starts dragon dancing. And I'm trying to get for another Thunder Wave, but Crystal stays asleep. I think after this, he just goes ahead and knocks Crystal out with Crunch, fearing that she would wake up and me getting a Thunder Wave off. And I'm pretty sure he didn't want to have 2 of his Pokemon paralyzed, so he just kind of got rid of the threat while it was there. Now, just as a backup, I brought my Cresselia. I knew she could take a Crunch from Tyranitar, but I wasn't exactly sure how she'll take one under a Dragon Dance. But she takes it, surviving with 94 hit points, and I get my Thunder Wave off, which is actually kind of good. I didn't want to Moonlight just because I only get back 100 hit points because of the Sandstorm. So I actually just go and trying to get some Ice Beams in. And it actually does a pretty decent amount of damage considering Tyranitar's special defense boost. And he gets the Parahacks. So that was actually kind of big for me right there because I just got a chance to get more damage in. He goes for another Dragon Dance. So I have to take this thing out right now because it'll just walk through the rest of my team. Right here, I do believe I call Cresselia back and I throw out Haku. And he gets the Parahacks. So there's a lot of hacks on his game. So I try to go for a U-turn, see how much damage it does, and it does nothing to it. That's probably because all those Acid Armors Vaporeon passed over. So I call back and I send in Wave, one of my other shiny Vaporeons. And he gets the Parahacks, so there's probably a Stone Edge coming in. I'm kind of glad he got that. So right here I was expecting him to switch into a Vaporeon, so I go for Fake Tears. And he gets the Parahacks again. At this point I was almost convinced he was going to switch into Vaporeon, so I go for another Fake Tears. And he goes for Stone Edge and it misses. So I'm like, wow. So I just go ahead and get a Surf off and just finishes off his Tyranitar. So that's actually one of the bigger threats to my team done, because I really didn't have anything to outspeed him. I brought my choice Scarf, Zangoose, but that really did nothing against his team because of his Ninjask. So Ninjask comes out again. I do believe I called back and I sent in Haku again, just trying to get another ice shard off on it. And I think he just calls it back because he didn't want to lose it yet. And he sends in his Vaporeon. I go for an ice shard and it finishes his Vaporeon off. I think his Vaporeon was just there as a suicide anyway. So I believe he sends in his Lucario. Me, I expected it to be a physical, so I called it back in doing Cresselia expecting Stone Edge. But I guess he predicted that and he goes for a Swords Dance. Since Cresselia is pretty much done for anyway, I'll just kind of send her in and just let her die off so I can have a good switching on one of my other Pokemon. Then I go in for Surge, I believe, one of my other Zapdoses. Now, I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't go for the extreme speed to try and get some damage in. So I go for Heat Wave and just finish it off. I didn't think he expected my Zapdos to be faster than his Lucario. He was probably going to do a Stone Edge, and that would have sucked for him a lot. Now, this here is where the battle started getting kind of one-sided for the most part. He goes for Calm Mind, and I just start hitting his Latias with Hidden Power Ice. It actually does a lot of damage considering her really high special defense and a Calm Mind. So she's about half her life now. And she just keeps going for Calm Mind. I keep going for Hidden Power. Now I do know it has Recover because it is using Calm Mind. And I think its other two moves are Thunderbolt and Dragon Pulse. So at this point I was like, I could either recover my hit points because Surge does have Roost. But I thought it would be in my best interest just to keep attacking it because if I went for a recovery move, that probably would have sent his Latias on the offensive, so I decided to keep it defensive for a little bit, not showing that Surge does have Roost, so I just keep going for Hidden Power. And it seems like all of my attacks are pretty much doing nothing, but at this point I'm just hoping for a crit because there's really nothing else I can actually do to Latias at this point. And I didn't want to get swept by it again for a third time, so I just keep going for Hidden Power. And then my attacks are just doing less and less damage, and he just keeps getting his HP up. He goes for Calm Mind, which if he actually did recover, he probably could have won this game as well. So he goes for a Calm Mind, and on my turn, I don't go for Hidden Power. I go for a Thunderbolt trying to paralyze it, and I don't get it because I actually need my other Pokemon to come in and try and finish it. So I send in Haku again. And I go for an Ice Shard hoping it will knock it out, and it does, so that was kind of huge right there. Haku actually was doing a really good job in this battle. It did a lot of damage. So he sends Ninjask in, realizing he can't do anything, and then he runs. So it was a good game on your part, man. I don't know if this disconnect at the end was intentional, but if it was, that was kind of lame because now I don't get the recorded win. But that's alright though. Still, good games, man. Alright, this is Chaz here. I'm going to see if I can bring you some more awesome battles later on this week. Alright, peace out.